Hello, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. There's another ending somehow, and we do weird choices for it. And now I'm here in the mine. You got a new dialogue right here. Around the next turn, the flashlight beam illuminated a big shadow. I was trembling with fear and couldn't move even one step further. I was woken from my stupor only by the thought that it could be Shurik. Shurik! No answer. What is this? Around the corner, the shadow disappeared. I saw a blurry human shape. Someone was sitting on a stone. Or maybe something. Is it a cat? I stopped dead. Is a tail? Hair? What are you doing here? I heard a lovely voice. Catching mice. I opened my mouth, but couldn't say anything. Did you see any here? No, but I'm sure there are plenty of them. I shined the flashlight at her face. Ooh, okay, yeah. She's pretty cute. Either something was wrong with her head or with her biological species. Because of her ears and tail, she doesn't really look like a human. And how many have you caught? Not a single one. She answered seriously. She didn't look hostile. Subconsciously, I felt that I shouldn't be afraid of her, but at the same time, I had absolutely no idea what to ask her, how to ask her, who she is, or what she is doing. But on the other hand, normally if you suddenly met someone in a deserted mine, you'd have a heart attack from shock. And the girl in front of me was definitely not a pioneer from the camp. And you, who are you? You're probably looking for him. For who? That boy. Well, yes, I answered after a small pause. But still, the girl interrupted me. He has been walking around here for a long time. I tried talking to him, but he didn't hear me. And where is he now? I don't know. Maybe he is still wandering somewhere. It seems she wasn't interested in this conversation at all. And you, how did you get here? The same way you did, from the surface. Without a flashlight? Why not? She gave me a perplexed look. I completely lost all comprehension. The flashlight flickered. Terrified, I started banging it with my fist. When the light lit back up, the girl wasn't there. I don't know who or what she is, but it seemed like she could help me find the answers. It's the strangest thing, but I wasn't scared of her. I just felt that this girl wouldn't do me any harm. But now I must find Shurik. I have a feeling that this is not the last time I will meet this girl. I don't know why, but I'm sure about it. Ah. Interesting. Okay. Right here, and then that girl from the mine appeared just before my eyes. I saw her so clear, it was as if she was really in front of my bed. No, I'm just seeing things. But still, why didn't I get scared back then? I just went and spoke to her normally, just like that. All the answers are here. That catty girl knows something for sure. Maybe I was too exhausted because of the old camp, mine, and labyrinth, and my nerves were stretched to breaking. I should have asked her about something, but I still have time. What is this? Oh, is he gonna learn what's going on with him? Here. It's interesting how seemingly simple events can affect a person. For example, there are such widespread occurrences of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, among children, where when you walk on the road you have to step on the tiles precisely, avoiding the cracks. It seems like nothing special, but if one doesn't get rid of it in time, just forgetting or forcing oneself to step over the tiles, it could become a really big problem in the future. For instance, one will only stare down and will get hit by a car. I never had anything like OCD, but minor events in my life often led to major troubles. Really, what's wrong with meeting a strange girl with cat's ears in a pioneer camp on the edge of time and space, or possibly even between the worlds? Doesn't seem like a big deal. Although perhaps I just got used to thinking that nothing really existed for me before this week. There was only this camp and this life. That's why something like a catgirl was just par for the course in this wonderland. She's just another character in this play, neither better nor worse than any other. But somewhere deep in my soul, I knew that wasn't so. All the camp inhabitants seemed normal, sometimes even too normal, with absolutely nothing remarkable about them. Geez, you could even say that my life here was simply boring. And now... my head was about to burst with thoughts, so I opened my eyes and jumped out of bed. The camp leader's cabin was the same as usual. Outside the window, a bird monotonously chirped, trying to burst the capillaries in my eyes with her singing. The clock showed 11 a.m. Why didn't Olga Dmitrievna wake me up? Though, who cares? I slept enough at least. However, I didn't feel like I'd fully recovered. The whole world was seemingly laughing at me. the bright sun outside, the lightly blowing breeze, gently whispering through the crowns of the trees, and this nasty bird had brought some fellows with her, obviously trying to ruin my mental stability. with her. The water from the washstands was ice cold as usual. While washing my face, I realized that I forgot my toothbrush, tooth powder, and towel in the cabinet. Strange I didn't forget my head. I couldn't imagine a worse start to the day. At that moment I thought it was the worst day of all that I have spent in this camp. Although there weren't a lot of choices, little more than 100 hours, not enough time to get the full image of a new home. Home. This word struck my mind painfully. Do I have to stay here forever? But why? How? What for? I helplessly sat on the grass and buried my face in my hands. Suddenly I remembered that girl. I wonder how many more fantastic characters I will meet here. A wonderful day, isn't it? I couldn't even be bothered to raise my head. Yeah, it couldn't be any better, I answered, keeping the same pose. Why so sarcastic? Sarcastic? I was surprised and looked up, but there was nobody nearby. Is it my imagination? No, I heard that for sure. Maybe I'm losing my mind? That underground mind, sure, voices. The cat girl, more voices. Is there anything here I can be sure about? I punched the washstand painfully hard and immediately jumped up, holding my hand and cursing. No! Ooh, kawaii! Suddenly somebody walked out of the bushes in front of me. Or something. Kawaii Neko. Hi. It was the girl from yesterday. Hi. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to expect from her. She's probably a Hellbeast and came here to end my life. That is, of course, only if it hasn't ended already. The cat girl stared at me. Hey, Ty, she looked at my hand. Yes, I answered timidly. Then why? Why what? Why did you punch it? Just because I was angry. I was completely unsure how I should talk to her. Perhaps one wrong word, phrase, or gesture could be fatal for me. Angry at who? I don't know, this isn't Russian though. But the girl wasn't showing any signs of aggression. It seemed that she was just wondering what is happening. At myself. I see. She smiled faintly. Listen, I don't know how should I put it, but I must ask. I kept silent for a moment, gathering myself. Who are you? The girl looked at me blankly. I am me, of course, she said confidently. No doubt about that, but how should I say it? You just don't meet a human with cat ears and a tail every day, you know. The cat girl carefully examined the aforementioned parts of the body and asked, why? I was totally confused. Even the first few minutes, I thought it was necessary to be afraid, to be very careful. Now she seems more like a good spirit being than a hostile monster. Because in my world, I was absolutely convinced that I shouldn't hide anything from her. In my world, this only happens in fairy tales. What is a fairy tale? Well, it's a story which cannot happen in reality. So I don't really exist? The girl laughed. I'm not even sure that I exist, but I can touch you, so you exist. Just thinking about the fact that she will touch me, I felt uncomfortable. Well, let's say I exist, yes. I stepped back. Goody, goody. The girl smiled and waved her tail. There was an awkward silence. All the time I spent in this camp, I lived as if in a dream. Sometimes when you sleep, you realize that everything that happens in your brain is just a figment of your imagination, and you need just to wish. I thought so for the last 5 days. This thought constantly existed somewhere deep in my soul. However, it seems that everything is happening in reality. At least I couldn't just wake up. I just want to understand. What? The girl was still smiling. How I got here, and how to get out of here. Suddenly I heard voices by the roadside, so I turned around. Slavia and Zhenya were slowly approaching the washstands. And you. But the girl had disappeared. Did you see it? Did you see it? Like I just needed someone to confirm the existence of this creature. Then I can convince myself that I'm not going crazy. What an irony to go mad while in the land of Oz. Though just arriving here is already a ticket to the loony bin. And even if I wake up right now, I still wouldn't be sure that it was all a dream. See what? The girls looked at me blankly. Anyone beside me? I could hardly speak. So, an illusion, huh? So I'm actually... You should get your head examined seriously. Semyon snorted and passed by. Slavia smiled apologetically and hurried after her. So it's all that simple? I wanted just one thing now, for someone in this nightmare to believe that I'm still sane. This whole camp and its pioneers did not seem as real as yesterday. In the end, less than a week ago, I lived a completely normal life as an ordinary man of his time, and now, maybe everything that happened made me think that all was going the way it should. That it's normal just to exist here. And now the last leftovers of my common sense desperately clung to this cat-like girl with the ears, trying to prove to the locals that I'm not crazy. See, you don't exist, you. It's me and your tail, not you and mine. My head was about to explode. If not for the signal for dinner, perhaps I would have run to the library searching for medical books with lobotomy instructions. The canteen was crowded as usual. Some things never change. For the first time I looked at all the local pioneers from a slightly different angle. Indeed, why is everything so correct? As if someone created this pioneer camp by carefully compiling material from the internet without bothering to visit such a place himself. It was just like an old Soviet movie, the strict camp leader, the exemplary pioneers, even Ulyana, and even Alyssa, all within the normal range. So where does that strange girl come from? She seemed like a smear of paint that just happened to be on the picture due to the shaky hands of a sloppy restorer. Electronic suddenly sat beside me. Hey there. He smirked. Hey, what are you thinking about? There was absolutely nothing wrong with speaking openly to anyone. Not anymore. Do you happen to see anyone strange here? Strange? Well, not quite human. I don't really understand. Electronic laughed. A girl with cat's ears and a tail. I said shortly, a girl with ears and a tail? He began to think. How do you know about her? Well, let's assume I saw her. This conversation was starting to get interesting. Let's assume, or you actually did. Is it really so important? Electronic stared at me seriously. There is a legend here about a cat girl. She steals food, small bits and pieces of stuff, and avoids people. Really? A legend? So what does this girl look like? I never saw her myself. You say that she has a tail and ears, as you described. What else? Well, this legend is old, and I don't know much about it. Who do you think knows more? Ask Olga Dmitrievna. She's been in this camp many times, even before she became a camp leader. Alright, thanks. I stood up and went to find the camp leader. I bet she decided to take a nap after lunch. Perhaps Olga Dmitrievna was the only element that was somewhat out of place in the picture of an ideal camp. She certainly was not a role model camp leader. I opened the door and confidently entered the cabin. And indeed, she was lying on the bed and reading a book, as expected. Semyon, slacking again? Actually, yes, but anyway. I wanted to ask you something. She stared at me and I hesitated a little. Maybe I shouldn't be so straightforward about everything. It was like my internal firewall triggered, and I just could not tell the camp leader that I had seen the cat girl today. Maybe I got quite used to hitting at something, avoiding straight questions, lying and keeping words back. In just 4 days. Although, I guess I'd been doing that my whole life. Olga Dmitrievna, I was at the dinner, spoke with Electronic, and he told me a legend about a cat girl that supposedly lives here. He also said that you would know more. Why do you need to know that? The camp leader gave me a piercing look and stood up. Just curious. I like stuff like this. I tried to smile, but it didn't seem to make things any better. We have a completely normal camp. Sure you do. Completely normal. Don't even want to imagine what you call unusual. I suppose something with zombies and maniacs. A nightmare on Soviet Street. Yes, I understand, but Electronic said that you visited this place before. Yes. The camp leader was thinking about something. However, there is indeed a legend that somewhere in the surrounding woods a strange cat girl lives, sometimes stealing food and small items from cabins. She is afraid of people, and if someone accidentally sees her, she runs away. That was quite different from what I saw this morning. That girl was more like watching me studying, trying to understand, but not afraid at all. And you? Have I seen her? Olga Dmitrievna interrupted me. No, I haven't, but I was quite close to doing so several times. Bottles, milk, tooth powder, and plenty of other things disappeared from my cabin sometimes. Mysteriously disappeared without a trace. I completely forgotten about the fact that all the pioneers here do not actually exist, and just listened attentively to the camp leader. I was curious where this stuff disappeared to before, but in the end there's no evidence of her existence. She smiled as if implying that this conversation is over. And if there was, why are you so interested in this? Who wouldn't be interested in stuff like this? Though I still had many things to rack my brains for. I don't know. The camp leader thought about something for a second and then returned to her usual mother of all camp state. Well, seems like you've decided to become completely laid back. Do something already. Oh. She paused and stretched herself in such a way that wrinkles that shouldn't even be there had her age came out. Go on, get down to business. I just sighed and went out. All in all, no one from among the pioneers has ever seen a cat-eared girl. They'd only heard legends. Well, I should probably find her. I'd already recovered from this morning's shock events, and existential thoughts had by now stopped pressuring my brain, so it was possible for me to take a reasonable position, more or less. It was necessary because I still had a lot of questions. How did I get here? For what reason? Why? And where is this here? And the catgirl is the catalyst for it all. But I didn't want to start theorizing about parallel worlds, aliens, experiments, and the afterlife again. I was fed up with this after just my first few hours in this camp. Perhaps I just need to put aside the theories and look at the physical reality. Even if I assume that this world exists regardless of my will and I have to live here, my arrival here is inexplicable. It's more worthwhile to concentrate on studying this world and on analyzing possible events which may happen to be here. I'll do that until the opposite is proven. Until then, let's assume that I'm stuck here. For the long haul, if not forever. The deck chair melodiously squeaked with my every movement, while our branches tried to strike me in the face, and the vile morning birds were silent for a long time, apparently tired of the summer heat. The treetops seemed like sharp peaks of the high walls of a medieval castle lost in the boundless woods. In these cabins, the square, and his monument, the clubhouse building are just a little village of peasants huddling near the millennial walls of a grim fortress hidden in a grove. And all of us here, either people like me or catgirls, are just servants of an evil genius hiding somewhere out there. It would be much easier if the camp was on top of a hill. Because 1,000 years ago, the best place for a fortification was always somewhere up high. Probably that someone just has nothing to be afraid of. But in that case, he would not hide so carefully behind the treetops. I sighed and closed my eyes. My consciousness slowly started to desert me, and soon the whole world faded into darkness. Ooh, whoa. Is he gonna learn the truth about what's happened to him at all? Oh, and again, before my eyes, like an endless carpet, the road surrounded by woods and fields goes ever on. The bus is going somewhere, leaving behind everything I knew, loved, and hated. An unfamiliar girl is leaning over me and gently whispering something in my ear. I'm actually interested in what she's saying, but I can't hear her. I'm just watching everything from the side and can see everything except her face, and hear everything except her words, and feel everything except my own life. Ooh, I woke up feeling like I was suffocating and began greedily sucking in air. My breath soon went back to normal and an intolerable thirst came upon me. But what was that dream all about? And who is that girl? These questions again. Maybe I've already died and gone to hell. Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? My head was about to explode due to such cosmic thoughts. What did I do to deserve this? I'm just an ordinary guy, not a philosopher, not a theologist, not a scientist. And I don't want to understand the substance of things, the way of the universe. I'm not asking for any more than just to live my life peacefully and then doze off into an eternal sleep when everything is over. But no, I'm just trapped here. Tears of frustration welled in my eyes. And why is it always like this? I started to think that if I give it any more thought, I would either understand the substance of all things or go insane for good. Ultimately, it all started with a bus. I got in, went to sleep, and there was a girl. Perhaps one of the local pioneers, maybe even that cat-eared one. Well, why not? I can't rule a single idea out. So I'm here now. My thoughts stopped. Tumbleweed rolled back and forth in my brain, bouncing around the organ which kept my ears from falling off. And that's all. Now I'm here, in hell, heaven, purgatory, or whatever. It looks like I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in this place. For some reason, I fixated on this exact theory. It's strange that I didn't care about the fact that a spiritual being doesn't have basic human senses, sight, hearing, touch. All in all, at first glance, there was nothing different about me from my condition a week ago. Well, except for being a couple of years younger. Then what's so bad about what happened? I might even consider this a second chance. After all, it's not that hard to get a job. I could rent a room in a hostel. I'm 17 now. I'm still healthy. My brain is in an excellent state. My energy is at its peak. I might try to achieve something. But what had prevented me from doing so before? Was I really that old back then? I jammed like an old rifle, and without outside help, I wouldn't have escaped this cycle of self-reflection. Fortunately, Lena soon appeared by the camp leader's cabin. Hi. I raised my eyes reluctantly and stared through her for a few seconds. Hello. I... She stopped, looked away, and blushed. Well, never mind. May I have a seat? Sure. Lena perched herself on the edge of a deck chair. What are you thinking about? Trying to understand the laws of this world. And how's it going? She asked seriously. Not too good. Perhaps they're beyond human comprehension. Then maybe you shouldn't bother? But what should I do? I just have to. Why? And really, why? Does it happen to be of some vital urgency? I didn't really bother thinking about things like that in the past and lived in relative peace. And what has changed so drastically now? I won't think about it now either. And we'll be living in somewhat different conditions, but what's wrong with that? If there is no choice, I don't know. It seems that nothing is up to me. It looked like Lena wanted to say something, but she didn't. And you probably came to see Olga Dmitrievna. Yes. I mean, no. But, to be honest, what is it? Sometimes I feel that way too. What do you mean? That nothing is up to me. I looked at her attentively. She was sitting with downcast eyes, nervously toying with a handful of field flowers. They were yellow like the fervent rays of the summer sun. Well, you know, these flowers, for instance, they were growing just for the sake of it, and then I ripped them out of the ground, and that's all. She was literally about to start crying. It didn't really fit my picture of Lena. Well, yeah, to be honest, I really don't know what to say. Well, so are we. We are ripped out, and then... She got up abruptly and rushed in the direction of the square without saying goodbye. Indeed, Lena, like all the other pioneers, seemed to be real. Not a figment of my imagination, not a doll, not an NPC. A few hours ago, I was sure that I am the only one who exists here, and possibly that catgirl. I wish I could find her. I'm in a state of something like spiritual deprivation. All my senses are working properly, but I still have a painful need to know why I am here. As if the need for identity, to find my place in this world, to determine its nature, laws, and mechanisms, had become vital, just like the need for food and rest. It is probably the worst punishment for a human to have the desire to understand something, but not the ability, to wish to change something, but to not have the opportunity, to strive for something, but to be unable to achieve it. I had never seriously thought before. Why am I in the world? How much time will I spend here? What do I have to do? And what will come next? It's a lot to think about. Very stressful for you, I'm sure. Now, after encountering this other world, I have nothing left but to think about these. I guess that if it is possible to escape from here, I will return to my quiet life where I don't have such troubles. I bet I won't return. It's so hard to face a task which cannot be completed. If I could choose my fate, I would never agree to this bus, this camp, these girls. I would stay there, in my apartment, in front of the monitor. You can't demand anything more than from a person than he can do. It's better to spend the rest of your life working in the mind than trying to understand something that just won't fit into your head. After all, there's no other way. Of course, it is possible to make a valiant effort, to try not to think, try to accept this reality and to start a new life. But it's not part of human nature to neglect everything that happens around you. If I was accused of a crime which I had not committed, of course I would try to resist, to prove my innocence. No one would agree to live in jail instead of at home, whatever their home is like. And now it's me who is thrown in from the world I was used to into this jail. Though it is boundless, though there are no walls or bars on the windows, it is still a jail. I did not ask for this, and my only desire, for now, is to return back home. And the only key out of here is hung just a bit higher than I can reach with a jump. And there is nothing helpful around. No chair, no stool, not even a small stone that could be put under my feet. And no one to help me. A few centimeters, just a few centimeters separating me from freedom, from realizing everything. Maybe it's impossible to return back home, but at least I'll be able to escape from this jail. That is exactly what I've wanted for the last 5 days. Whoa. Night slowly descended onto the camp. Dinner went by without me, and the camp leader stopped several times by the deck chair trying to tell me something. But I was already in another world, the world of my cage with a key bound by a Gordian knot to our area news thread. It was not long before the light in the cabin was turned off and the crickets started their lamentable whining all around. Somewhere in the distance, an owlet was hooting at a speed of 37 hoots per minute. I was heating and rhythmically knocking, trying to accompany him. Sitting. Sitting. Yeah. Suddenly bushes rustled around me, and a squirrel with a nut in its teeth climbed on a tree. It must be hurrying to meet its family. The summer night's charm was as rich as always, but it didn't affect me in any way at all. The mechanisms of my brain and problem in my soul were in need of serious maintenance, not just a slapdash repair of the bodywork and a new paint job. I decided to take a walk. Because thinking about it, I've been sitting in this deck chair for almost the whole day. I even took a small nap. Everyone in the camp was tired. The camp was sleeping. The walk between pioneers' cabins, the square with the statue of Yulya, the forest path, all that was changing like pictures in a kid's book. The whole world looked like a picture too, and that is not what I was thinking just yesterday. And the reason for that was a strange girl with animal ears, a cat girl, though she could just as likely be another animal. It was like there's a defense mechanism that activated just after I appeared here, which didn't let me look for answers or get a hold of the situation. There were always more important things, such as missing the lineup, getting a comfortable seat during lunch, or sneaking away from the camp leader. Anything other than thinking about why am I here and how I can get out. Anything. I sat on a stump and closed my eyes. A million images appeared in my brain at once, and among them was a road, a bus, and that girl. Yes, the girl with animal ears. It was her who was in this bus. In the bus. It was her who was in the bus. Oh. Oh. Okay. I quickly opened my eyes and saw her in front of me. At first, it looked like a dream or a hallucination, but a sudden gust of cold wind brought me back to reality. Well, all this, the strange girl was sitting and sprinkling sugar on a mushroom. Hey, girl, better this way. What are you? She said it was a serious face. Who? I heard with difficulty. The mushrooms. Who else? Mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms. Why do you need those mushrooms? To eat, of course. Why else would you need mushrooms? The girl pouted. I just didn't know how to start a conversation with her, because I was sure that the thing which looked like a strange girl with animal ears had brought me here, and making friends with a higher being wouldn't do much good. Do you have more sugar? She asked suddenly. I don't know. No. Why do you need it? What do you mean, why? I told you, for the mushrooms. They grow better that way. Despite everything, the girl looked totally normal. Of course, you don't often see a human with animal ears and a tail, and they actually looked real, but apart from that, I can bring some. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I just wanted to earn her trust. As long as mind reading wasn't one of her abilities. That's alright. No need. There is enough. Good. And? What? Why did you come? What does she mean? Come to this glade or come to this camp? Or into this life? My head was about to explode from existential thoughts. Just a little bit more, and everything would become crystal clear. No, the answers and the understanding didn't appear from thin air. The safety device just cut in. Caution, doors are closing. No more people will fit in the train. The next stop is. The train was gone and I stayed on the platform without my luggage, wearing a light jacket in the minus 20 degrees Celsius frost. I was just having a walk. The words echoed hollowly in my head. I felt like a Viking from the Middle Ages who stands alone against 100 enemies. No doubts, no regrets, only an iron will to die hard. I see. The girl answered without much interest and went back to her work. It was you, back there in the bus? She replied lazily without tearing herself away from the mushrooms. Why did you bring me here? I didn't bring you. Then who? I don't know. But were you in the bus? I was. And? What? Yelling at her was dangerous, but I couldn't help it. What? Answer me. Did you ask something? It looks like this conversation doesn't bother her at all. Who are you? She looked at me in surprise. I am me. Okay. Where are you from? I don't know. I've always been here. What do you mean always? You must have come from somewhere, no? I don't know. I doubted for a moment that this is an omnipotent being before me. Of course, this girl is a little extraordinary. To be precise, absolutely extraordinary. And she was with me in the bus then, but maybe she has nothing to do with my arrival here. Anything is possible. What do you know? I know how to make supplies for winter. She smiled with sweetness and ease. What supplies? Well, you know, for the winter. It could get cold. I've never seen the local winters, though. How come you've never seen them if you've always been here? I don't know. She looked at me intently. Anyway, you're boring. Me? Yes, you. How do I bore you? These stupid questions. Stupid? Well, I was dragged out of my usual world, brought here, and now my questions are stupid? Yes, she calmly replied. So, what questions would you consider not stupid? Where one can get sugar, for example. In the canteen, where else? Plenty for you to steal. You're well known for doing that, I've heard. I do not steal. The animal-eared girl was outraged. I am borrowing it. It comes back anyway. Comes back or not. I don't care. I want to understand how and why I am here. I want to go back. I'm not interested in that. The girl stood up and shook herself. But I'm interested. If you're not the one to blame for everything, then you must know the answers. Someone should know them after all. She looked at me intently and laughed. You're funny. I completely lost my temper. Stop mocking me. You. I'm fed up with you. Why me exactly? How am I worse than anyone else? I never asked for anything as fun as all this. Leave me alone. I didn't bother anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. What did I ever do to you? Get lost. Let me live in peace. Oh man. My whole body shivered. The blood pounded in my head like a cannon. Everything went dark before my eyes. He actually said all that. Have you blown off all your steam? She asked quietly. I was about to smash her. At least I'll check if she is flesh and blood. Alright, let's go. Where? You'll see. The girl gestured me to follow her and went into the depths of the forest. After some time, I started to suspect that we were walking in circles. Finally, I decided to check it out and put a candy wrapper in a noticeable spot. Indeed, we soon passed it again. Wait. I didn't dare to grab her hand, so I tried to stop her verbally. What? Where are you taking me? I said that you'll see. But we're walking in circles. So what? What do you mean, so what? You won't get anywhere by walking in circles. But you said it yourself, that you were just having a walk. The girl seemed strange, illogical, even arrogant, as if she takes pleasure in mocking me. I'm not moving an inch until you explain what is going on. Okay. She stopped and leaned back against a large tree. I was just bored. It's the same old stuff all the time. But recently lots of new stuff happened, and now... Now what? Now I can talk to you. She smiled. And you couldn't do it before? Well, I certainly could. Maybe. So what happened? I don't know. Then why do you think that something has happened in the first place? I've got a feeling. A feeling, eh? I gave a helpless sigh. Maybe she's just a lunatic that escaped a local asylum and not an omnipotent being? Come on, let's get serious. Okay, fine. The girl looked at me intently. Who are you and what's happening here? I don't know, she answered with the same expression on her face. And who knows? I don't know. Alright, I'm going to sleep. I had no strength to talk about it, to listen to her nonsense, to walk in circles in the forest. Even if she knows the answers, and she can return me to the usual world and all, not today. Just enough for today. If I stay here one more second, there won't be anyone left to return. Good night, the girl said nicely. That's all? What else do you want? You're going to sleep. She's right. Okay, do you at least have a name? Name? Yes, a name. I don't know. And who knows? I don't know. Okay, and what should I call you then? I don't know. But a person, every single thing in the world should have a name. There's no other way. She looked at me uncomprehendingly. Alright then, you will be Yulya. Yulya? I don't know why I chose that name. Maybe it was just the first thing that came to my mind. Fine. Oh, she smiled merrily. Yulya. Oh, cute. And now I have to go. The girl flicked her ears and disappeared into the forest. I slowly dragged my feet back to the camp. Now it looked like I was in some sort of tragic comedy. The higher beings cannot be idiots with the development level of a kindergartner, can they? Though it's possible they don't perceive the world the same way we do. I was so exhausted I couldn't fully comprehend everything that had happened to me recently. The answers could be right before me. I just need to stretch out my arm. It could be that saving stool, which would help me to reach the key. And how could I be so calm in such a situation? Maybe I'm just tired. Dead tired. Olga Dmitrievna waited for me on the doorstep of her cabin. At last. And where were you wandering in the dead of night? I looked hard at the camp leader. I wonder, is she real? I don't have a single doubt about that girl, Yulya. She may not be a human, but she exists. And what about Olga Dmitrievna, the other pioneers? You know, I saw that cat girl. Sure, of course, she chuckled. Well, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I don't want to, and I don't believe you. It's your choice, I said in a tired voice and pushed my way into the cabin. Semyon, tomorrow. I didn't hear the rest of her words. There was only one thing to understand, whether anything is up to me or not. Should I keep desperately reaching for that key, or is the cat girl the answer I've been looking for? Maybe the only thing left to do is to understand? No one ever said that the clue will be written straightforwardly in your own language. Though maybe I always knew those answers and I just had to comprehend their meaning. What if everything is not real and I'm just dreaming? What if I just imagined everything about finding the answers, about understanding them? Maybe there is no cage, no jail, and the key has already been hung up in a burned out lamp in my room, which has turned into a pioneer camp inhabited by unreal but very alive people who seemed so understandable and so precious. Well, no. I am not a wizard, not an oracle, not a god. Voltaire once said, illusion is the first of all pleasures. Maybe my most successful skill is my illusions. Lines of thoughts connected one by one, ready to keep it going until morning, but the safety device worked again and unplugged the whole system instead of reformatting my brain like last time. I think that's good enough, but I don't know. I guess I'll read a little more just to see. I was woken up by a hoarse noise in my head. It turned out to be an alarm clock. Having found its button with difficulty, I turned it off. Olga Dmitrievna, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Why so early? I said in the direction of the other bed, opening my eyes. But there was no one there. The camp leader must have gone somewhere already. I rose with difficulty and looked myself over in the mirror. A common pioneer, nothing more. If someone showed me photos of the local residents with me among them, I'd never recognize myself. Oh, the sun shined brightly outside. Nature seemed to laugh at me. I slowly walked to the washstands. I met only a few pioneers on my way who were obviously in a hurry. Strange, where are they going at such an early hour? The cold water refreshed me a bit, and all the memories of the last few days poured into my head. Well, I should find Yulya and try to be very polite and proper this time. After all, if you can't even understand a fellow human being when judging him by your own worldview and ideas, then how can you talk to something completely alien? Why should aliens or catgirls follow the same moral laws and draw the same logical conclusions as I do? They may perceive the universe in a completely different way, and humans are just ants to them. We don't think anything of killing a troublesome mosquito, so why should they pay any attention to me and my small problems? Though it could all be totally the other way around, and Yulya may not be guilty in this. There was a rustle in the nearby bushes, and I saw a familiar pair of ears. I see you. Yulya reluctantly left her hiding place. Come on, she snorted, pouting. Are you watching me? Yes, is that not allowed? Well, it's probably allowed. I wanted to talk to you anyway. Really? Me too. What about? I wondered. Something strange is happening here. Strange? What? I don't know. It's just everyone's behaving differently than usual. Something has happened. First you, then all the others. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't know, I just feel it, and when I feel something, it always happens. Yulya looked downcast and even a little afraid. At this time, she totally doesn't look like any kind of higher being. Okay, let's investigate it together. No, no one should see me. Come here in an hour. Until then. The sound of heavy steps sounded from the road. Someone running. I turned around and saw Slavia approaching. Yulya disappeared into the forest, as expected. Hi. I smiled. Yeah, hi. She looked really nervous with her teeth blushing, eyes sparkling, and braids all messy. Semyon, it's... Come with me, you'll see for yourself. What happened? Slavia's face wore such a pleading expression that I decided not to argue. She grasped my hand and dragged me to the square. The entire camp was probably there. As we turned the last corner, I looked past the crowd of pioneers who were staring in the direction of Yenta. And there was... Whoa, a city? What is going on? What is happening? Where's this going? This is weird. Okay, that's good enough. Alright, I'll stop there. Okay. Bye.